Now for a word from today's video sponsor, BetUS. BetUS is an online gaming and sports betting company. This is America's favorite sportsbook and an A-rated sportsbook on Sportsbook Advisors. BetUS has every single sport that you can think of, especially college football. Y'all know Coach, I like college football. So anything from the coin flip to who gonna score the first touchdown to what box is going to win in a big time prize fight. They got it all, and it's all on their website. So for me, you know I love football, and the NFL and college football seasons are here with basketball right around the corner. So if you like to bet on the NFL, NBA, Major League, college sports, all that, horse racing, whatever you have, this is the place to go, man. So if you sign up with my link today, down in the description, BetUS is giving away 125% sign up bonus plus up to 30 risk-free bets because it's the 30th year anniversary. So go ahead, use my link in the description to sign up, get your bonus. Sound like a pretty sweet deal to me. BetUS supports the Fan Addict, and the Fan Addict supports BetUS. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, remember to gamble responsibly because we not out here telling you who to bet with, but we just telling you here's an avenue that you can use to do that betting. Now let's get to the video. Welcome in, college football fans. It is the Fan Addict on the Fan Addict Sports Network, man. I'm your boy, Coach I. Hey, man, I'm running solo today. For those that follow along with the channel, the stat guy is not joining me today. He will be back soon. But, hey, we're here to talk Colorado Buffaloes and Nebraska Cornhuskers. Yeah. Let's get into it.
The Fan Addict, where we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina. Upstate, A64. Yeah, the FANATTIC, the Fan Addict, where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what.
All right, man. Like I said, I'm Coach I. We're here to talk college football, Colorado versus Nebraska. Listen, if you're new to the channel, we talk college football all the time. We give out game previews, season previews in the off season, do live streams. We have a live stream on Saturday called the Saturday Night Snap Count, where we bring on other content, college football content creators and people that just really know what they're talking about, man. So listen, make sure you join the channel, subscribe, like the video. Colorado fans showed up and showed out on our Colorado TCU preview. We definitely appreciate that. Nebraska fans, hey, make sure you tune in, comment, like, and subscribe to the video, man. But let's get into it. First, I want to start off by giving the Colorado fans that did hit the comment section props, man. Listen, in our preview, we did not mention anything about Dylan Edwards. They put us on game, man. Listen, because the truth of the matter is, man, for true freshmen, I know a lot of fans like to count on the recruiting classes, but out of like 25 to 30 people, when you recruit them as true freshmen, only about 3 to 4 maybe make a big impact. And Dylan Edwards made a huge impact. You're talking about a dude that scored 4 touchdowns, man. Listen. Just let's get into the recap, man. Listen, week 1 recap. We'll recap the Colorado TCU game, then the Nebraska Minnesota game from Thursday night. Then we'll talk about Colorado's offense versus Nebraska's defense. Flip it for the defense of the Buffaloes to Nebraska's offense, and then talk about some keys to the game and predictions. Listen, man, Colorado and TCU was the best game of the day. I'm sorry, it was anticipated to be so. Deion told us he was coming. He came. Shedeur showed out. Travis Hunter showed out. Edwards showed out. That secondary for the Colorado Buffaloes showed out. TCU, you know, they gave him a game. Overall, I felt like Colorado looked like the better prepared team, the better coached team at the time. I think TCU started the game with more nervousness than Colorado did. I mean, they didn't really settle in until, like, you know, the 4th drive of the game. Colorado was ready to go from snap number 1. Some things that I did like from Colorado is, again, the playmakers on the outside. You had Weaver, Hunter, Horn Jr. at receiver. Yeah, Edwards stepping up in the passing game, even though he's a running back. You got Wilkinson and Hankerson left some stuff to be desired. I would like to see them be better, but when you got Shedeur going over 500 yards passing and pretty much not missing a pass all day. I mean, I know he missed some, but you know, he was super accurate yesterday. Showed that he belonged. He was probably the most calm person on the field. I mean, you can definitely tell that he is prime son, ready for the big moment, stepped up. That secondary for Colorado, I think Shiloh leading the way. And when I say he's leading the way, he led the team in tackles. I know Travis Hunter is bananas. Let's just stop and appreciate what Travis Hunter did against TCU. 129 snaps. 129 snaps, people. 129 snaps is ridiculous for one guy to have to undertake. When y'all see these up-tempo offenses, regardless of the team, a lot of their coaches, their goal is to get above 80 plays. And if they can hit 100, then all the more merrier, especially the ones that's like really up tempo, because they know once you get in that 75 to 80 range, the defense starts to wear down. That's what defenses that are subbing and things of that nature. You're talking about one man who played 129 snaps and not in the trenches. And hey, no shot at offense, no shot at offensive lineman anywhere. Don't jump on me. But Travis Hunter had to do a lot of running, running at wide receiver, covering their receivers, running around in the secondary. This dude was absolutely amazing. And I know there's some early talks for Hunter in the Heisman. Listen, I don't, hey, it's all deserved, but hey, man, you got another guy on the team, Shedeur Sanders, that might be talking about it too. And if Edwards keep putting up multiple touchdowns, they might all be splitting the votes and hurting each other. But you know, Heisman talk can be for on down the line, man. Let's jump over to the Nebraska Cornhuskers. They lost a tough one against Minnesota. Minnesota was very physical. They was taking on a defense that was ranked 6th in scoring defense last year in the nation. They're always good under PJ Fleck. So the fact that they were able to stay in the game, you know, show that Matt Rule is making some changes and some improvements there in Lincoln. Their offense did not, you know, they left a lot to be desired. We need to see more from the playmakers on the outside. And pretty much, you know, like, listen, Jeff Sims is a great runner. He's gonna have to be able to improve in the passing game as they go, so that they can win some of those closer games. You can't throw the interception. You know, he threw one interception down in the red zone, and then he threw another one on that last drive coming out when all they had to do pretty much is not turn the ball over, and they turned the ball over. So, but let's just jump into it this week, man. Now you got the Colorado Buffaloes, who are 1-0, coming off a huge win at TCU in that heat. And now they're taking on the Cornhuskers, who are flying out to Colorado to take them on. Let's talk about the Colorado offense versus that Nebraska defense. Nebraska just implemented new defense coordinator Tony White, brought in that 3-3-5, and they wasn't taking on a Colorado style offense, but they were taking on some guys like Jackson, the receiver for Minnesota, is a playmaker and a route. Listen, man, he's a route artist. Everybody saw the toe drag, but a lot of people didn't see the route before the toe drag in that game. It was just a masterpiece. But that 3-3-5 actually looked pretty good. They run a lot more zone, at least that game they did, than they did man to man. When they were in man to man, my opinion is they were at their best. They got some guys out there on the edge that can cover. But when they was in the zone that left Kalansky, I think his name is, or if I'm mispronouncing that, from Minnesota, he was able to find some spots in that zone, and they're not going to be able to do that against Colorado, because Colorado, you know, on the other side, their offense just has a lot of playmakers. Again, I talked about that in the opening. You got Hunter, who plays both ways, who's a playmaker. You got Jimmy Horn Jr. You got Weaver. You got Dylan Edwards, and I'm pretty sure they got other guys that could step up. Where I want to see them better, again, is in that run game. If that 3-3-5 gives them, you know, I don't know, slows their start down, can they go to the run game? Because Nebraska's defense got some guys down there in the middle. Hutchmaker, I think his name is, at nose guard. We always talk about it. When you have a 3-3-5, you have to be able to have a guy in the middle that can cause havoc, and Hutchmaker is causing that havoc in the middle. Their safety, Isaac Guilford, he's everywhere. He's a playmaker. So they're going to have their hands full with these skilled players from Colorado. And it's going to be, you know, Sean Lewis going against, you know, the OC for Colorado, who drew up a masterful game against TCU. Just one play that I want to talk about, man, when Dylan Edwards scored. A great offensive coordinator can put your players in situations where they're one-on-one with a guy, and then you just trust your guy to make a play. The last Dylan Edwards touchdown, where it was 4th and 2, He drew up a double slant from the Twins look on the left side. They ran the slant, putting Edwards one-on-one in motion with the linebacker, and the linebacker just was not fast enough. I thought he took a bad angle. You got to know your personnel, man. You covering Dylan Edwards, you can't take the same angle that you do with most running backs. You have to account for his speed, and that left him one-on-one. And once he outrun that guy, the strong safety that was coming over just definitely wasn't fast enough. It gave him a little hesitation, and then it was out. Nebraska, I like Nebraska's linebackers a little bit better, but still, that speed that Colorado has, I think, is gonna present a problem for the Nebraska defense. That 3-3-5, again, it's a hard defense to play. I think they got some guys in spots, but we'll see. Because some of those linebackers didn't look fast enough, to play in that style defense. But we'll see how that turns out. Now, conversely, the Colorado defense has to take on the Nebraska offense. Now, the Nebraska offense isn't, to me, what Colorado's offense is. So they see the Buffalo see a better offense in practice than they'll go against. But what I will say is Chandler Morris for TCU is mobile, but Jeff Sims can run. Now, Jeff Sims, they focused on him a lot as far as running because Anthony Grant only had I want to say 5 carries, and the other running back, Gabe Ervin. Gabe Ervin had 7 carries. So they had 16 carries between them, which you would like to see them get more carries, because what we saw in the TCU game against Colorado is while Colorado has a good start in 11, that front 7 is not deep. They're not big, but they're not deep. They made some plays early, but we saw in the second half they wore down a little bit, and Sanders and the other running back for TCU were able to take advantage of that. And I'm pretty sure that's what Nebraska is going to try to do. I think Nebraska wide receivers, while they may be talented, they're just outmatched with the Colorado secondary. I think. But if they're gonna stay in this game and have a chance to win, the outside guys are gonna have to make some plays so that Colorado doesn't stack the box. Because if they stack the box, that's gonna make it even harder to run. So I'm looking for Nebraska to use Jeff Sims' mobility. They use a 12-13 personnel a lot of times. That means 2 tight ends, sometimes even 3 tight ends. And the tight ends did kind of, hurt Colorado at times, for TCU. So I'm looking for Nebraska to try to take advantage of the same thing. Nebraska has a lot of running backs. So I assume that they're going to try to run the ball, basically down Colorado's throat. Will they be able to do that is the question. So my keys to the game are, can Nebraska corral that wide receiver core? You know what I'm saying? Can they, with that 3-3-5, can they, limit the big number of plays? You're not going to stop them from catching the ball, but you got to limit the big plays if you want to stay in this game. I think you got to find some way to get pressure on Shedeur. TCU was able to sack him, I think, 4 times, if I'm not mistaken. So you may have to play a little bit more man, Nebraska, than you want to. Because you if you zone blitz and send pressure out to Shedeur and sit back in coverage, the wide receivers will find spots and he will connect. We already seen how accurate he is. So I think you got to play a little bit more man, throw some of those timing routes off and things of that nature. On offense, Jeff Sims has to not turn the ball over. If Jeff Sims doesn't turn the ball over, maybe they can play some clock management. And with that, like I say, they got Grant, they got Gabe Ervin, they got the Ramir Johnson. The returner was good. He's actually a running back, and they can control the clock and maybe keep the ball out of Colorado's hands on offense with Shedeur and Travis Hunter and company. All right, so those are my keys to the game, man. Now for the prediction, I think. Colorado should be the favorite going into this game. I know the money lines will come out later if they are not already out, recording this on Sunday, September the 3rd. But I think Colorado will be the favorite in this game. They got a lot more skilled players, a lot more offense than the Nebraska team has. So I think Nebraska is going to be the underdog going in. My prediction of the game is this game is not going to be the shootout that, the TCU Colorado game was, because I think TCU has a better offense than Nebraska. I'm picking the Colorado Buffaloes to win this game at home and move to be 2-0 over Nebraska. and probably have a comfortable lead, at least by 10 or more, because I just think that Colorado has more offense than Nebraska has. I think Nebraska may be able to keep it close early. And I think they're, again, making improvements under Matt Rule. But I just think right now, the talent wise, they're just ahead of the game when it comes to Colorado versus Nebraska. There it is, man. So, Colorado fans, Nebraska fans, get in the comments. Tell us what you think will happen. Don't forget to tune in on every Tuesday. I'll release our weekly picks where we go against the spread and talk about the games from the previous week and see what our records are. And so if you want to see the actual score prediction, make sure to tune into our weekly pick video on the channel. That'll do it for me, man. Colorado versus Nebraska. This is Coach I on the Fan Addict Sports Network. Yep.
Come rock with me. We got it jumping like it's that valley. I call my dogs out the pound. Let's go eat. Turn on the Fan Addict. Let's have a debate. Who really hold down the Southeast from state to state? What team hungry gonna eat everything up off they plate?